plan differently. And I entirely agree with the Honorable Semuju about our eyes not being fixed on form rather than essence. To look at the shape rather than what is inside that shape. If that was the case, I would still be in NRM. Because I can tell you, yes, I have sacrificed and suffered the last 20 years or so. But I can tell you that suffering and sacrifice is nowhere compared to what I sacrificed under NRM. I left my job. I was earning over $1,000 per month in Nairobi. I left the job. I had a fiancée, we were planning to wed. I never saw her again. Yes. And went and suffered. No food, no what, no clothes, no. You under rain, the sun, the mosquitoes, the what. You are walking with luggages up and down, crossing lakes, doing all kinds of things. And being hit, real hitting with guns. You are crawling under bullets and so on. That's why whenever you hear me talk, I say, God is good. But as soon as where we were fighting to go, I saw things start moving a different direction. I said, this is not where. This is not where we are going. And we, first of all, of course, tried to fight over NRM. Yes, we tried to fight over NRM. Saying, no, you got to do this. We even took off saying we need to reform this thing. Until it was very clear that they had built already the guns, the dogs, the what, to guard us from interfering with what they were doing. And we said, okay, let's now start afresh a fight to continue to the freedom we wanted. Where Uganda belongs to us. You know? These days I've been seeing my brother, General Tafiri, lamenting, saying, how can you bequeath the leadership of Uganda to your son? This is unfair. Me, I am not going to bequeath my constituency to my son. Why are you doing this? I'm glad that at least he's talking, because there are many inside there who are just watching and completely silenced. They can no longer talk. At least he's now still talking. But it was the same people that we told this thing is going astray. Let's fight now. Let's not wait until it grows wings and horns and other things. Let's fight now. Said, there is term limits. Term limits. When you are seeing all these horns growing, going for you, you're talking about term limits. The earlier we confront this thing, the better. Now it's already a huge monster. And the figure is there at the bottom saying, ew, this is unfair. Really? We shouldn't, you know, and this is what we were telling the people in Naja. Because as you all know, we had a lot of discussion before they continued where they are going. And they were saying things have become tough. We have no money, we have no this, we have no that. People are defecting. We better talk to the man. We tried election, they failed. We tried walk to work, it failed. Let's talk to the man. But so how can you now make a decision that we all surrender? That we all go and say, we have come. And they said, yes, let's do that. What else can we do? Whatever little he gives us, at least we keep that. We don't know what will happen in the future. Maybe he will die, maybe. That's not how countries are saved. Countries must be saved by people who are determined to fight on in the daylight, in the darkness, in the rain, in the sun. You must be determined to fight on until you get your country back. We are at this crossroads, but an important crossroad. Because these crossroads we get help us to sieve. They help us to know those with strong heart and those who are not as strong. They help. Don't think that those people in Najanankumbi don't actually want the Uganda we want. They want it. But they have weak hearts. They say things are tough. We would rather be slaves for now. God is there. One day he will help us. They forget that God has already said he helps only those who help themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think you have already done the needful. You have already resisted those temptations of saying things are tough, there is money here. Money can be money for evil. And I've been telling our people that if we are to regain the country, we have to win 4 battles. We have to defeat fear, which is their first weapon. Their first weapon is fear. We must defeat fear. And fear is defeated by faith. We must have faith in our right to have our country. We must first of all build our faith that this is our country, it's the only country God gave us, and we have a right to fight and to own it, to control it. So we must defeat fear. Secondly, we must defeat their money, because the capture of the state means capture of all state resources. And it doesn't mean that when they have state resources, we can't defeat them. I told you the British Empire, it was not just the British Kingdom. It was the British Empire was defeated here by people who did not have money, but who were determined. So we must fight whether we have money or not. That brother of mine, the bus, he came in, he's taking it all. That is the struggle. You come in the bus at night, you spend the day in a meeting, you go in the bus in the evening, and you go home. And the garden is waiting for you as soon as you arrive. That is the struggle. So if you feel a little sleepy, stand up and warm up and sit down. We must defeat their money. That's why we can meet whether we have allowances or not. They cannot meet. Even to sit in the neck, they are paid to sit in the neck. And you are still a liberation struggle, being paid to do your work. You are no longer in the struggle. So we must defeat, we must work and fight with or without money. Doesn't mean we shouldn't look for money, because money is useful. We must eat, we must move, money is useful, but whether we have it or not, work must go. Thirdly, we must defeat their propaganda. They control the media, and they use the media against us. They do. I've been fighting sometimes with members of the media. The trouble in the media are not the journalists who collect the information. They are gatekeepers there in their media houses who are on payrolls, who will block what they take that they will cause the other ones some problems. They are gatekeepers, they block it or distort it. They don't know that, yes, they are eating money from the other side, but the house, if it goes on like this, the house will fall on them also. And there is a lot of propaganda. I'm sure you are familiar with it. You've been hearing, we want to sell FDC to NUP. Why would we do that? How immune is NUP from becoming FDC? You think what ate FDC cannot eat NUP? It can. Or anti or the other parties, it can. So we must guard against the propaganda and talk, especially you people from the districts. Occupy whatever space there is to talk about what the struggle we are engaged in is. On funerals, of course I have had the complaints, because when you go to the funeral and you have even not taken mabugo, they may not give you the Kazindaro to talk. Those are real challenges. But as an activist, find a way of mobilizing, whether amongst your people, 10,000, 5,000. If we are able so to send you something, go confidently. Say, I represent the struggle here. And this is why our people are dying of lack of health care, when they would be living, because we don't control our country. Our money is used by others, not for us. There is the points Honorable Semuju was saying. I've been talking about education. She talks about that a child of Uganda is given $3 for education. Now the dollar has collapsed, so I think it is $2 for a whole year. 10,000 shillings. And that for a few months, the budget passes, gives him 500 billion to use as he wishes for classified expenditure, as his pocket money. 500 billion. And he lifts some of it and puts it in a house in Chambogo there, which he calls the office of the chairman. And there is a young lady there whom I see running around with the country, around the country with bags of what they buy to go and literally humiliate our people. You saw the Ushenyi people fighting over what that Namiaro had delivered. People were grabbing and running because everybody is deprived. So we must defeat their propaganda that there is parish model, people are going to be rich. How? 100 million to I don't know, a parish. When all those 500 billions came from the same parish. You are saying, now I'm giving you 100, you will be rich. How? But lastly, we must defeat all attempts at dividing us. And they will be huge attempts to divide us. Because they know, and this is, you know, a normal meeting for us, but this frightens them. That people came from Karamoja, from Bundubujo, from Arua, from where, and they are all saying we want our country back. It frightens them. So they will be working overnight, even as you leave, to make sure they change your heart. Now you came all the way, what have they given you? Now, will the children go back from those words? Will they go back to school? Will your children go back to school? We are the ones who can help you take your children back to school. They start pricking at your wounds. You know? And so it's a very difficult time. But we must, if we are to survive, we have to remain united and fight together. And I'm glad that Honorable Semuju has indeed underscored that we have to remain together, to fight together. I think the calls he has received, he caused the calls himself, because he's the one who alone went and said, I am now leaving FDC. If we all together say we are leaving FDC, everybody understands that we are all marching. So don't go alone. Let's move together. Let's stay united together and fight on. And that means I would like to suggest to you and to these leaders from all over the country, this is a delicate time where we need really to explain what we are doing, what we are fighting for, where it is, so that people understand how they move forward. The regime is busy focusing everybody on 2026. How prepared are you? You know the election is coming. Have you already chosen your candidates? Who is your candidate? You know, so they want to put you again to rally you onto their agenda, their path. We must defy that. So, first, let our people understand where we are going, how we got there. As some of our languages say, if you are strong, you don't have to wake up very early. Eh? Yes. If you are strong, you can stay at home because you know when you get up, things will happen. Whether it's a garden, if you want to clear it, you can clear it in no time. Amanyi okolachi? Oina. So let us concentrate on building the money. If we have built the power, if we stand up to it in any direction, everybody will hear us and feel us. Let's build the power. So, my suggestion to you, ladies and gentlemen, would be that in order to organize ourselves to fight on, before we come to the next delegates conference, which is the supreme organ at which major decisions can be made, I think I'm just suggesting to you that you need to, now being the leaders of your districts, engage our people in the districts with all this information that you have received. First, that we have all these options of how to move forward. What do you think we should do? So that you are able to move together, whichever way. Wherever we go, we need to move together. Because those people are looking for cracks. If they see a crack somewhere, they jump in and try to make it wider. Let's move together. The president has given us options of how we can move. Maybe if there is another option, you raise it here so that we also discuss it. Because you are the leaders. He has given how many options? 5. If there is a 6th one, raise it. Or 7th one, so that we see what is available to us. What is the challenges? What challenges are there with either? And we go and have an engagement with the people. Because he says we can continue fighting to rescue our party. The case that concerns their illegality is in the court. And as you heard, we have now strengthened our legal team to fight. But the reality also is that we are fighting in their courts. So we don't know how long the case will. We don't know how long the case will take. The one of UPC, the judgment was made some years later, when even the term of office that they were fighting was gone. So but that case is there. That option is there. There is the option, as here, number 2, of reconciling with them.
No way. We don't want.
Of course, we can only reconcile if we are going to the same to the same place. Somebody who is there and you are going this way, I don't know how you reconcile. So if there is anybody wishing to start reconciliation, I think the starting point would be to see how people change direction. Their direction is very clear, working with the government. Very clear. They have said so themselves publicly. They will want to work just like Mao, working with the government. That's what I heard Sibambi say in parliament. He says, for me, I have come to work with the government. So there is that option. You will have a very, very difficult task, if not impossible, to change me to go there, to go that direction. But if by the grace of God, there is a way of bringing us to one path towards regaining our country, then it's an option. Those who can help in achieving that, let's consider that. There was number 3, which was having a new formation, saying cut your losses and move on. That also is, it has its own challenges, but it's an option. The social movement, you see, for me, the social movement, I don't know why the party president put it here. Because the social movement is already there. The social movement is not in competition with these options. Are we together? Because even if you belong to FDC, you can belong to a social movement. Like has been the case, our people's government is a social movement. But people could be in FDC and belong to the people's government. Our leaders like Ken Richard, they are leaders of other parties, but they are part of the social movement. DP is part of the social movement. So the social movement, I find, is not, and I think a social movement is a must. We must have a social movement which unites people from all formations to fight. Are we together? You see, parties are formed to compete in elections. And there is some advantage if you organize your way of how you can compete in elections. We have not organized ourselves to use elections for struggle, but elections too could be used for struggle. But that does not take away the fact that in order to fight, we need to unite and fight. So a social movement is a non-electoral platform. Are we together? The social movement is not for elections. It is for organizing joint activities to fight for our freedom. So that is not in competition. Yes. Okay. So it's saying we forget about the party, we only stay in the social movement. Yes. But I think, well, that too is an option if you want to have no party and belong to a social movement. But that means maybe you would have taken a decision not to participate at all if there are elections. Because if you are participating in elections, you need to have an organization that helps you in that kind of endeavor. That is an option of not having any party. So that would be the option. And lastly, he said each one going to the other formations that exist according to what you think. That is also dissolution. That is also dissolving and anybody moving to wherever you want to go, joining other formations. That too so I think if there is another option you want, it would be good to raise it and it joins these ones. And then my suggestion to the party leaders is that I think it is important ahead of that delegates conference to have a conversation going amongst our people, led by yourselves in your different districts. You lead conversations. And maybe during that time also, like I heard, I think it was Kiiza say, we also at the national should come to your districts and talk directly to the people. Because since all this chaos happened, we have really not met people to tell them firsthand what happened. So they hear stories from different people, but I think we need to update them directly about what has happened, where we are, and how we end this story. So, in the process of your conversations in the district, I think that too should happen. And then we come to the delegates conference already with an emerging consensus. Okay? And I think our leaders can help in linking up with all the districts to see how a consensus emerges. Then if we come to a delegates conference, it is easy to manage and to move on. So, very lastly, my sense of the opposition we have. If you are fighting, you must look at yourself, and you must also look at the situation of that one you are confronting. Some people, you see, again, confused by the propaganda of the regime, create the impression that there is no opposition now. You know, Museveni will have a field day in the next elections because there is no more election. All the opposition parties are busy fighting each other. So there is no hope. They are trying to paint a picture of hopelessness on the side of the opposition or on the side of the population. Because what they call opposition are people who are really fighting on the side of the population against the state capture. So they are trying to make the population despondent, hopeless. You have nothing to do, so accept whatever is there. What can you do? That picture cannot be farther from the situation that obtains. The situation is that what you call the government of NRM, Karibu Honorable, you can pass here in between.
The other side.
This lady comes from the oil city, so I think she was. You can see she resembles a bit of that.
Katabalwa. Katabalwa.
Yeah. So I can assure you, I have been here. I was in the NRM, which used to be NRM, and that NRM, of course, ceased in 2005. It first ceased really in 1996. They fraudulently went on up to 2005. And from there is some many words. The first point is where we are going. We need to internalize it. That unless we have a country in which we are the masters and our leaders are our servants, that is turning upside down what is going on. Because you cannot be the master of the country and they are bribing you to vote. You cannot, your servant cannot bribe you to give the servant a job. If you are in your home, can the worker who is looking for a job bribe you to employ you? So why do you think in the country, the owners of the country should be bribed to choose those who lead us? This is why we must change that. That is the first point I was making. And the second point is that we need to quickly organize to fight and achieve that goal. It will not come easily. It will not come easily. We must tighten our belts and make a determination that we must fight until the country is ours. And I've told you what we have to defeat in that fight. I thank you and further congratulate you on taking on the mantle of leading the struggle from now going forward. God bless you.
I know my fellow members will support me. That before we ask our people, our executive questions, I would propose that first of all, we thank them for the good work well done. In fact, as me, a member, and a founder member, the executive, and all the members who have spoken here have done it all for us. In fact, we have very little to contribute. Because, for example, even our founding father have labored everything. The president labored everything. And all of the things they gave to us are very sweet and good. I have only one question. And I sit down. Even if I ask, that I first of all have thanked you, there are two things. One, you have said that the case is still there, and it is good on our side. At the same time, we brought up a very good idea that we can leave it and then continue with another name. So that is my question. Where is the status of the case? We need to know the status. Then we continue from there. Otherwise, everything that you brought up is very good. Like I've said, you have said it all, and therefore I have nothing to add. I can only tell you that I am a simple man, Muslim from Mbale, where you fear. I can tell you that there is nothing to fear. Because all the FDCs which are Mbale, we are the people who produced it, who arranged it. My NDPC is there. It's my teacher. He taught me how to mobilize, and I will mobilize. And all of those you saw, coming from Mbale in the FDC, flags, they are my creation. I created them. From Gishuland, I am not alone here. I have moved with a team from Rambo. They have just stolen to steal and sell. They will never live longer with it. They are going to fail in the shortest time possible. I can show you my people from Bulambuli and Ambare district.
President, that we go to the people so that we let them know what exactly happened. Because in Ajumane, they have put for us a tag. For me, they call me to FDC Katonga. Then there are those who they call FDC Natanaku. But our people at the grassroots, they don't know what happened. Therefore, I stand to second the proposal of our party, founding president, so that we go to the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
From here to the period we shall have the National Delegate Conference, I would request the NEC team to move all over the country and meet those delegates that are going to come here, that we discuss more on these areas you have highlighted. However, I'm in support with the new formation. We need to have a new brand, because it is this propaganda England is using just to distract us. You know, they are saying, you see, your cadets, your members of parliament, your councillors will not have a stamp. Where shall they belong next time? And it's causing some elected leaders to go with slow. So they want this one to happen quickly, so that our people know where to fall. So, please, the last statement is that people from Kabale and Kigezi at large are always saying, Dr. Kano, though you didn't participate in the last election, as was one of our setbacks, they're saying, why can't you come back and also lead us just in this formation, and after the elections, then we have another way. Strengthen our structures, we strengthen our party, strengthen whatever we shall. So we need you on board. We need you, please, in our sensitization. Work with the party president, the chairman, and others, so that we can have this vibe go on. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. We are hearing.
George, elected chairman from Namengo district.
Namaingo is in Lake Victoria towards Kenya.
Namengo, we are having 3 constituencies, and one constituency is in the waters, so it is the place, hard to reach place. Actually, thank you very much for the support you have given. In our district of Namaingo, 90% of people are saying that Kano come and save Ugandans. Actually, and again, the same time in Namengo district, for last 5 years, we don't have office of FDC. So we want the headquarters to help us so that we get office in Namengo district.
Yeah,
thank you very much. I remain as Echo George, one people, one Uganda.
Yes, for those who don't know what's happening in Namaingo, the lake was taken over by the military and they threw them.
It happened that a drunkard sneaked into the meeting and insisted to make a point. We allowed him, and he said, if on your agenda you have 3 letters, F, D, C. He stated it in Uganda, Fa, Da, Cha. He said that those words, Fa, Da, Cha, Da, that FDC, Fa, Da, Cha, died long time ago. We later thought about that statement, and we really found out that the party we loved and the party we are insisting to have died long time ago. Therefore, I want to go with those members who suggest that we come up with a new formation. It is going to avoid questions like, which FDC do you belong to? So that is where we are as Kawempe, and therefore that is the position. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Propaganda is consuming our time and it is taking a lot of our efforts. If we are determined and we want to rescue this country, let us mean it. I don't believe in elections. Last time I participated in election as an aspirant MP for Brasha County, Kabarole District. I saw what happened. The way they tortured me, the way they harassed me, and now we have struggled for all these years, and we are not getting what we want. Because as our doctor told us, they are channeling us a path and directing us to pass there. If they are the ones organizing elections, why should we participate in their organized elections if they cannot allow us to participate in appointing the commissioners and electoral commissioners who are doing those things? I think we are also
from the late President Amin. One time he asked his fellow boxers as why they are not bringing the gold medals, as why they are losing. They told him that, you see, whenever you go there, these referees keep on cheating. He said, why don't you use this method? You go on the ring, make a knockout, they will count you a winner. Enough is enough. Enough. History has taught us that we can never win elections. Let us resolve now. Let's take defiance means now. We forget this business of this. I know these MPs, they are going to primaries next year. If we don't get them now and engage them now, they are going to primaries, they forget about everything. Let us resolve to go for defiance. We plan for defiance, and I know we shall change the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can
I have proposals to make. It is very easy to make something that is very ambiguous and non-achievable. But mine are straight to the point. We appreciate all that has been given here. One, I think that we should not make decisions for the rest of the country in this meeting, but we should go back to the grassroots and consider a non-commercialized referendum on the direction that we should take. I don't know if you get me right. This does not mean that we are going to have the party president move in every district. We are there as representatives. Let's go back, sit with the grassroots population and ask them about the direction that we want to take so that tomorrow we are not questioned. Proposal number 2, I would like us to invest more in the grassroots structures and also invest more in the women of this country, because the direction of this country is mostly decided by women. We are the greatest voters. We are also people that cannot be bought anyhow. This one is a fact we should accept. My proposal number 3 is that we invest more in media visibility. We need to appear in media. And media also needs to know that we are struggling for them too. We don't have the money, don't charge us highly. But we need to appear strongly on media. Many of our people see other political parties. Allow me to mention this. FDC is stronger than NUP. But NUP is all over media. And you know people get scared down. Hey, NUP has taken over. But when you go down to the grassroots, FDC is actually more powerful. So let us start to invest more in media. Lastly, I would like to make a proposal that we give an extension of either 1 or 2 weeks to the districts that have not finished the grassroots elections of the structures so that we have a conclusion of these elections. Those are my proposals.
Yes, thank you very, very much. I have not heard from, no, I'm now looking at the regions. Busoga, we've had Namaingo is Busoga. I've not heard from Bukedi. Can I hear from Kasese? Yes, Mr. Chairperson. Protocol observed. Saro Mate, Kasese, Governor for Rwenzori Region. One, I'm convinced and I'm happy to say that members gathered here are the true FDC members, the faces of FDC from various districts. Because every region or district has a face that you look at and say that is FDC. And these are the faces that are selling FDC throughout the country. There is another observation that I've seen that I've managed to follow in Kasese and the whole region that I command. Major Nkumbi has lined up candidates who are very, very weak and it is intentional. The purpose is real malice, even when they know that those candidates cannot make it. So it is upon us to take them head on. We must not spare them at every cost so that we will achieve what we want. I'm in agreement of what has been passed here about the options that have been put forward to us. It is therefore important that before the National Delegates Conference, which is due 19th March, we go and do all we can, mobilize our people, pass the message, talk to them, so that by the time we come here, we'll have decisions that have been taken up in respect of all party members from our various districts. Lastly, it is my humble request that there are regions that may receive a chance of hosting national teams. Please, if there's communication passed to you, do all the needful. Mobilize as much as you can so that by the time the team comes, there's really enough members that are able to listen from a national team. People down there are very eager to hear from them. I know by the time the national team leaves those areas, whatever has been said, painted about FDC, everything will be rubbish. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kasese.
After interacting with elders, and amidst us we have the elder founder members of the party. When we interacted with elders from Laos sub-region who were in the reform agenda, for example, we had Honorable Bileo from Amalata, we had Honorable Okelo from Dongolo, we interacted with Honorable Odu Anang from Kwania, and finally, Olua from Benelua from Apai, who was the chairperson of Apai. They were informed us, as we are here now for the daily conference, that FDC should remain FDC as we are. And they told us again that we should not buy ideas from the drunkards, as my colleague from Kawempe has mentioned. And finally, in their statement, they say, by defiance, we should remove the GMOs from Nigeria Kumbi by action, even now, and we take over our headquarters. As I conclude, I don't want to waste time here. I have my colleagues from Lango sub-region who are here. Let's write
a very critical analysis of each and every recommendation that are here, looking at the cost and the relevancy. It is my opinion that option number 3, if we do an elimination, Because option number one, when you look at it very critically, given the submissions that Honorable Dr. Besigye made, it's almost near impossible. Given the case of the UPC, it took almost 6 years by the court for this case to be disposed of. The other third one would need a lot of explanations. Yes, we can go to Nyarukundi and rescue Nyarukundi, but we need a lot of explanations, a lot of damage control in that area. My strong recommendation is number 3. We go to the people, but with a recommendation where we want to go. Because in my view, Mr. Party President, a political party is like a vehicle which moves you from one point to the other. But you need a very good driver, a right driver to drive. If we have a very right person to drive that car, a new political formation, I think we will be able to achieve what we want. And that is my opinion. Thirdly, there are resources that we are not
They
having.
come in. But I'm the only chairperson who made them. Who let me say, I had to betray them completely. And up to now, they are staggering. So members, let us go back to the PG activities if we want to reach to the promised land. Those activities really worked and are still working. Those who are engaging in it, please proceed. Busia, in fact, I was taken somewhere because of my activities. I'm very strong with it. If you come to Busia, we are doing, and Busia is stretching the leg. Our people are very poor to the extent you cannot even achieve what you want. Even coming here, myself was a problem. It was God's master. Because we have no money there. So members, come and rescue us. But let us proceed with defiance. Thank you very much.
Kisoro.
I've heard people energizing over and over about the party formation, about remaining NFD, so fighting to redeem Najanankumbo or what. But going straight on what our foundation elder has told us, we only now need to focus on the struggle to liberate our country, and we can only do this by reorganizing and strategizing, as he said. So my proposal is that moving forward from here, ladies and gentlemen, let each one of us carry a burden of sensitizing our fellow members down there on what to be done next. My second proposal is, I'm requesting the delegates conference scheduled 19th March be extended for 1 month so that the activity of traversing the whole country be done smoothly, sensitization be done smoothly before we go in the delegates conference. By the time we come in the delegates conference, the people...
Starting FDC in 2004, I moved all over Jolly and collect signatures. And even I passed through Lango. So when I hear people talking about starting a new formation, I asked myself, do people know that it is to move to the people and come back? Or they are just thinking when we start, then thing is going to move? I want you people to go back and think about it, because it's not a one-day thing. People lost election in the last election because Besigye was not in the ballot paper. Just simple. They go and say, who is there? Oh boy, I'm going back, I'm not voting. These are things people did not understand. And for us who come from the north, especially the Acholi and Langi, we suffered a lot. And the coming of FDC we saw it like Jesus restorating from the dead. And finally, he had made our people to go where they are. Even when I see them enjoying in NRM, but without Besigye, by now we would be there. So I think all the proposal given is, but I also wanted to challenge you, if you have constructed the house and finished, then somebody, your wife brought another husband. Besigye, the Dajana Kumbi is all about you. Let's get out from Katonga and go for mobilization. The day you start talking to people and explaining the issue of the dirty money, sitting in Katonga will be a problem for them. In Najana Kumbi will be a completely difficult thing. So I think let us have my only worry that when we are here, we still have divided mind. They who want to focus on the election, and there are those like me who participated in the election, and I don't think election can change the government. I'm also here. Unless we answer this question, that either we have formation, because when I hear formation, those who want to contest for MP, for 83, for whatever, for them they would wish formation. Because at the end of the day, Lokwago, you spoke very well about the court. But for me, my belief that you are going to drag the court and the case will not be heard. They can even hear 2 days to nomination and they say the Katonga is the right, the Najana Kumi is the right, is legitimate party. You would have left no option with all the follower. So I think we need to make this very clear. We go back and consult. Do we need a formation for election? Or do we need to continue with the struggle? When we answer this, and I don't think that the few of us, one person like me, I present like about 300 population. I'm all alone here. I cannot speak for 300 people and say what I'm saying is correct. Let's go back. You, the team, move to regional level, have consultation, and try to talk to people, and you hear people's view. By the time we come for the delegate conference, we would have had an informed decision. But for me, I'm not going to Najana Kumbi because that is my position. I'm also like Chemujo. Because if you pick something and you eat alone and you want me to come and account, I will not be part of it. So I'm still talking of negotiation. If you have gotten a chair, that is your chair. But for us who are totally, we are not going to be part of that. The condition.
But for the Lord and say, forgive me of sin. Don't betray the mentor. Don't. It's like your father. Immediately you see your father naked and you laugh. Better to kill you. You are wrong, man. This man should be sacrificed for the Ugandans. Never, never, never. Whether you're a girl, don't look at your mother naked or abuse him. You better to be killed. The Bible says that. You better to be killed. I'm too much annoyed. Okay. One, my president, as a legal team, take us a forth. Don't meet us around. Look at the situation. Where are we going? Then tell these people that it's like we are not getting. Okay? Tell us. I know the lawyers. I know the judges. You are a judge. At your level, you have hustled. You have handled things in this country. You know where we are heading. If we are heading, still making a snack, tell us today or next time that NRM has already taken and you know the institutions are for them. You must be open. Finally, media, be our friends. I know some of you, you are very good people talking. But in your radio stations or TV stations, you're getting only 300,000. Be our friends and the struggle, we shall be giving you maybe 50 per month. I'm going to come here. Thank you. God bless you.
We are targeting elections. I want to tell you what you know here is not what knows out there. There are people who have completely different they are not in touch with us. Formation can be one way to lure people to joining us. In the district I come from, Buikwe, I have over 5 councillors who have not gone to Najanakumbi to pick card, or they have not even shown interest to contest for next coming elections. But they are waiting to hear what Katonga is saying. They have been moving with me, they have been supporting me in whatever I do in connection to Katonga. But they are quiet when it comes to the forthcoming elections. So, for me, it can be one way to lure these people coming to joining us. Because our president, the family father, has ever said it, that election is one way into achieving what we want to do. So we can use it as a tool. If many people join us through this new formation, we can use them even before elections. We can command these people. You are there, that's the reason why you are here. We can command these people into the direction to be, even before 2026. So let's not look at the formation as only one way to contest, to the next elections. But it can be a tool used to lure people, because there are many people who don't have the knowledge we have. They don't.
They are critical decisions you have to take. One thing you have to be cognizant of, we can't take snap decisions. We can't rush decision making. We have to flip all sides of the coin. The debate has just started. The conversation, I'm glad, is within the domain where it belongs. It has to cascade it down. Like many of you have already observed. It has to go down to the branches, to the conferences we have in districts and elsewhere. And we also have members who are not within the country, who are in diaspora. All have to be on board. Consensus building is not easy in a family, because this is a family. Generating consensus is not easy. I invite you to exercise a lot of restraint and patience, listen to one another, be calm, be accommodative, be flexible, scratch your heads, and we chat a way forward. You should also be mindful of the challenges we explained to you that we're encountering as the interim leadership. Organizing a delegates conference has also got its own challenges. Yes, the notice is already there, and if we were to have it on 19th, those are 3 weeks from now. There are lots of implications in that. From your analysis, and I want to request you, I don't want to push matters down your throats, is it practicable for us to wind up the conversation that has just started today? Of course, for us who have been discussing these issues of the options, the men who are presented to you at NEC level, at the level of the National Council, and you've got your delegates, don't forget about that. All of you chairpersons of different districts, your delegates, you have to take the package back home. Before you crystallize your ideas here and say, this is my position, this is what I go with, remember the people you are leading from your area of jurisdiction. You may reach there and they tell you, but who sent you to take that decision? And also, the fact also need to reach out to the regions, it's equally important, led by Dr. Kiiza Besigye, to reach out. So, like you are told by our SG, we want to design outreach programs. We continue with this conversation. We take the right decision after reflecting on all these issues critically. And yes, would have loved to have this the delegates conference yesterday, but you this. How do we now balance all these factors? Because there was a motion that was presented here, and also there were dissenting views. There was a motion
that we extend the delegates conference by 2 months. I think who moved the motion? And also there were dissenting views. We need to take a decision in the best interest of the party and in the best interest of the struggle, the interest of our country. So, what decision do we go with? We extend by 2 months, reach out to the people, to the branches. And then, because remember, you have to guide you on this. The final decision rests with the delegates conference. They have to pronounce themselves on this matter. Just imagine the time we have taken here. And at the delegates conference, not everybody will have the opportunity to speak. Just like we did, at least we made efforts to reach out to your areas in the run-up to the 19th September delegates conference. At least we were with Mama here in Acholi. Florence, you organized, and you gave us some sumptuous food there. In Masaka, all the regions were there. Many of the regions, at least we tried our best to be there. I think it's only fair that this time around, as we prepare to take this very important decision in the future, regarding the future of the struggle, specifically regarding the future of the struggle, that we take precaution, we do it meticulously, that we do it with a lot of caution. So it's inevitable and it's imperative that we reach out to the regions, and we must come out and interface with your members. You'll have to organize. So how much time do you need to organize at that level? All those interactions we need, how much time do you need so that we come here after we have done all those rounds across the entire country and we have consulted our branches elsewhere outside the country, we come to pronounce ourselves on any of those 3 options, the 5 options. I've had the 6th one now. We pronounce ourselves once and for all without anyone claiming that they have been left behind. It's very, very, very dangerous to leave out the members, to leave members behind. We don't want anybody left behind, and we want to generate consensus.